Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rachakodash. A double honor to my other apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members, the elect, the B'charim, the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation in Yasha'Allah. I want to do a lesson on showing you that America is Egypt. All right, spiritually, this place is Egypt. This place is Babylon. All right, all those ancient empires, but I'm gonna focus on Egypt. And there are a few indications that you can see, a few indicators, like the dollar bill on the back of the dollar bill. You see the pyramid. All right, but this place is spiritually Egypt, and Egypt was our first enslavement as a nation. And the Lord, set up Moses because we were in enslavement for 400 years, set up Moses to deliver us. All right. And now this is our last enslavement. And he's going to send back his only begotten son, Yahushai, to deliver us, which Yahushai was back there when we were delivered out of Egypt as well. He was that death angel, and he was that chariot, that pillar of fire that was guiding us when we were walking through the Red Sea, you see. So I'm gonna play this video on TikTok. All right.
Possible there was an Egyptian civilization in the Americas before Columbus. If you look at a map of the Mississippi River, there is a surprising amount of cities named after Egyptian cities. Southern Illinois was once even known as Little Egypt. Not only are there cities named after Egyptian cities, there are mounds everywhere along the Mississippi River, some of them with areas bigger than that of the Great Pyramid. Newspaper clippings from the 1800s all the way up to 1986 have reported people finding Egyptian artifacts in caves along the Mississippi River, especially in southern Illinois. There are also newspaper clippings of Egyptian artifacts found in the Grand Canyon. The area in which they were found is still guarded by helicopters and is inaccessible by the public.
Now, there could be an explanation for that. When Israel came over here, the Northern Kingdom, some of them probably did have, Egyptian artifacts. Who knows? All right, maybe it was a certain tribe that did have those certain artifacts. Okay, because Jake likes to mingle amongst the heathen. All right, but either way, you saw the names, because Esau names these cities. All right, from other places. One of them is Egypt. Okay, and Egypt means house of bondage. All right, that's what it means, house of bondage. All right. The ancient Egyptians, their real name was Matazarium. Okay. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. All right, the house of bondage. And all of Israel is here. All right. The northern kingdom already came over here around 724 BC. Okay, it says it in 2nd Ezra. We get that 13 verse. I'll get to the point actually. Verse 40, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, which is Hosea, the northern king, all right, the king of the north of Israel, Ephraimite, so-called Puerto Rican today. The king whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves. The other land was the Americas, from south to north, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High has then shewed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Ashereth. You see? And real quick, let me just pause this. I'll get a map. Okay, so I got the map, all right? This is Google Maps. Okay. So, as you can see, so the Euphrates, right? Let's type in the Euphrates River, actually. Because we took counsel among ourselves to leave the, Assyrian captivity. And we went to another land which never mankind dwelt. That's the Americas. We had knowledge of this place because of King Solomon. But no one ever dwelt here as a civilization before. We were the first to do it. All right. Okay. I think my thing is taking some time to load. But as you can see, either way, this is the Euphrates. Okay. Okay, here we go. Right. So the Euphrates right here, in Iraq. Okay. Right here in Iraq. You see that red. All right. That red indicator. That's where it was. Flowing all the way through to the Persian Gulf. All right. Then we went out through there to the Gulf of Oman, then the Arabian Sea. All right, passing all the way, going past Africa. Okay, past Madagascar, past South Africa, into the South Atlantic Ocean, then to here. All right, to the Americas, going all the way up. Okay, going all the way up to Alaska. All right. That's where we went to. You see? So let's go back to 2nd Esdras 15. Actually, let me get Deuteronomy 28, because the Southern Kingdom, then they came over here, all right, to the Americas during hardcore slavery. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee to Egypt again with ships. You see? And if you look at the map, you don't need ships to get from Israel to Egypt. You can walk there. By the way thereof, I speak unto thee, thou shalt see no more again the land of Israel, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, free you. And we were put on cargo slave ships. That's how you know that the Negroes are the Hebrew Israelites in the Northern Kingdom, the Native Americans and Latinos. All right. We were put on cargo slave ships. The Northern Kingdom first, actually. The Latinos, you were put on, and Native Americans, you were put in enslavement first, actually. Just like in ancient times when the Assyrians took us away. And then 200 years later, our brothers, the Southern Kingdom, they went down in Babylonian captivity. All right. The same thing happened. Cristobal Colon came to the Hispaniola, took the Taino Indians, the Ephraimites. All right. And then 200 years later, the Southern Kingdom came over here to the Americas. All right. Around 150, 130 years later, around that time period. All right. Because they came over here really in the 1500s. They started to come over here in the Americas to Brazil. All right. Some parts actually Florida. But a bulk of them, they came over here in the English colonies from West Africa in 1619. All right. Which is prophecy. So let's get 2nd Esdras 15. And there's Hebrew inscriptions found throughout all the Americas, because the Northern Kingdom, when they came over here, remember, they try to keep their laws instead, our laws, statute, commandments. You can go to Lost Luna Stone, which is written in Hebrew. That's the reason why, because they came over here, all right, with the knowledge of the Lord. So that shows you that the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Hebrew Israelites. You can look up the Lost Lunar Stone for yourself. It's written in Hebrew. All right. It says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." And that stretched out arm is Yahushua. And he will deliver us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. All right. And again, this place has cities named after ancient Egypt. The witchcraft, the gods, people worship, go back to Egypt. All right. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. You see, the Lord's going to bring plagues upon this place like he did in ancient Egypt. And if you look up the 10 plagues that he brought upon using Moses, you'll see how devastating it was. It was destroying Egypt, economically. All right. Destroying the Lord is destroying the people, through fear and terror, through famine. All right. Killing their firstborns, all of them, even cattle. Okay. So that's coming here to America, and America is being destroyed economically. It's being broken down economically. Famine is in the headline news. It's approaching. The hearts of the people are mourning, and it's going to be even crazier. A time like never before, man. So with that, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachah Kodash, and the honor smell the apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect. With that, shalom.